Hey Size Traders, it's Gary here, and I just wanted to talk about something that happened to me last night. I was on a call with a prospective client, member of SizeTrade, and like a lot of times he asked me a simple question, and I wanted to reach out to everybody and maybe give a little inspiration or maybe explain why we're doing this. So the questions he asked me was, the first question is, if you're that great, why are you doing this? Why are you giving out? Why are you wasting your time if you're making money trading? Why are you giving your time for free to teach other traders? And the second question he asked me was, what hours do we send out our signals showing our trades? And I wanted to answer these questions because I understand why people ask these questions. I understand why traders ask these questions, but I just want to go over them and explain why it's important not to ask these questions. The first question, which is, why do I do this, is because I have to do this. This is my life. I'm passionate about the markets. I love the markets. I love to talk about the markets. That's why I do these podcasts. I talk, all my friends, every single one of my friends is involved in the markets. Maybe except for a few of them. But 99% of my friends are involved in the markets. We talk about this, we live this, we dream this. Every email I have, every text I have eventually goes into the economy, into the markets. Can you believe this? Can you believe that? Can you believe how low the vol is? And so on. So to me, this is, I feel like if you're going to be a successful trader, and I want every single one of you guys to make money trading markets, either long-term or short-term, day trading, whatever it is, I want you guys to be passionate. You have to live the markets. The markets is a organic living thing. So if you don't live the markets, whatever you learned 6 months ago doesn't exist or doesn't work today. The market always evolves. And that's what I want to bring up. And it's a very important point. When I was 20 years old, this is going back to 1999, I was a good trader making decent money, living an okay lifestyle for a 20-year-old. And I moved over to a new firm, and there I was put on a trading desk with 50 traders. And those traders were so eager to help and help me out so much because they had a little bit more experience and were making more money than me, that I was able to take what they taught me, regurgitate it, figure it out, make it better, not only make more money than everybody else, but also come back to them and say, hey, you know what you were missing? You were missing this, you were missing that. And we all as a team began making more money. We ended up being, that year, I think there was 50 traders out of 800. We made like 60 or 70% of the profits for the firm that year. And all of it came to was the unity of our trading desk. Every other trading desk on every other floor, there was, I think, 23 floors. They were all individuals. They were all quiet. Nobody wanted to teach anybody. When a new trader came, he was put on an island all by himself. And this is the important part of my being able to be here 20 years later and consistently make money, is the fact that I teach. Because when I teach, I push myself. I push myself with the questions you guys ask. So what ends up happening is, if you make money and you get comfortable and you don't want to share your strategy with anybody, you never evolve your strategy. You're sitting there on your island making money, and eventually, like I said earlier, the market is organic. It grows. It's not going to just sit there and let you make money. Its job is to defeat you. Its job is to figure out how you're making money and then take that away from you and make money from taking the other side. So if you're not teaching it, if you're not talking about it, if you're not living it like I am right now and how I've done it for the 20 years, you stagnate and you continue to make money in your strategy that's working for now, for 6 months, a year and a half, 2 years, but eventually stops working. And I saw that firsthand with all of these day traders who were making good money, and eventually 2002, 2003, hybrid came out, the system changed, and because a lot of these traders were on an island that didn't have anybody to help when they were making money, they didn't get the help when they needed it. They stagnated, and they had to either lose all their money and go to another industry, or figure it out before they lost the money and go to another industry. Very few of them were capable enough by themselves to change their strategy, to figure it out, to move to other places in the market that can make them money. And that was one of the reasons why I continued to be successful in our little group. It became smaller, of course, because the markets became harder to trade, but our group continued to to excel and make more money than other people individually because we shared idea. We went to market on close orders when they worked. Then they stopped working. We went to other things. We started pair trading. We started swing trading. That's why it's so important to be part of a community. So important to be part of a team. And that does mean that a person who potentially has the most amount of experience and maybe the most amount of knowledge has to teach, because by teaching you guys, I push myself to read more than I would if I didn't have to teach. It makes me look at patterns other than the ones that I'm comfortable with, because people ask me about them and I want to see what they are. So I teach you guys to learn from you guys as much as you guys learn from me. I need this. I'm in the markets anyway, so why not? And if I stagnate, maybe in 2 years, 3 years, my strategy won't be working and I wouldn't have evolved to the next strategy. By teaching, I keep myself in the markets, learning, and also evolving, so I can make money, and hopefully you guys can make money from listening to me. Now, the second part of the question really kind of baffles me, because which was, let me repeat it, which is, when do I trade? The markets are open 23 hours a day, 5 days a week. From Sunday night till Friday night, the markets are open, except for 1 hour when they close between 5 p.m. Eastern Time till 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You have to be ready to trade those times. If you limit yourself to trading when it's comfortable for you, you're not going to make money. Yes, I know there's certain people who make money just trading between 9:30 and 4 o'clock. But again, you're taking a small percentage of people who are able to do that. We're competing every time we pull that trigger. Every time you make a trade, you're competing against somebody. And the guy on the other side, most of the time, is from a big bank, meaning he's a top educated Ivy League kid who's bright. I know these kids. Some of these kids are my friends. They're really smart. They're unbelievably capable in mathematics. They're unbelievably capable in logic, pattern recognition. These guys are the creme de la creme. And we're competing against them all the time. And not only that, they have the resources. They have the resources behind them. Their banks give them hundreds of millions of dollars. Some of them get billions of dollars to not only put together patterns and trades, but also give them the resources with high frequency trading to send out those trades in microseconds much faster than you can. So if you're day trading and you're going up against these guys, we have an unbelievable disadvantage already going into the fight, because they're the creme de la creme. No matter how smart you think you are, they're at least as smart, or almost as smart, or maybe even smarter. And then you put the resources behind it, and then you put the team behind it, because they're not sitting there on an island. They're sitting there as a team with multiple programmers who are programming these quantitative analysis programs that are picking up patterns that you can never see with your eye, because they have millions of dollars invested in programs trying to pick up patterns. So for us to win, it's the way that I see it is it's a war. We're a guerrilla fighting team, and those guys are established army. Doesn't mean we have to lose, but it's a hard battle. So if this is what you want to do, if trading is genuinely what you want to do, this is how you want to make your money, you love the markets, you love looking at charts, you love picking up patterns, but you're not making the money, it's fine. You'll get there. You just need to learn. You've got to figure out there's certain tricks. I'm going to have a risk management podcast that's really important. It's the foundation of trading. If you don't follow this foundation, no matter how smart you are, no matter how good you are at pattern recognition, no matter how good of a trader you are, you're minimizing how much money you're making if you're not following the foundations of trading. Just like when you build a house, you need a foundation. Otherwise, no matter how beautiful the house is, no matter how big the house is, eventually it's going to crack and fall. So I'm going to be releasing that hopefully this week or next week. Really important one about money management. But anyways, going back to the point is we have to have the heart. We have to have a bigger heart than those guys, because they have deeper pockets, they have more people and more knowledge than we'll ever have. So where we win is by picking up patterns and sharing those patterns with each other, and creating a small guerrilla force community where we can beat these guys. One of the little parts that we have an advantage of that nobody talks about, this is where we make our money, is those guys need to make millions of dollars to move the needle every year. Yeah, every month. So we're able to come in and make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a trade, or $100,000 in a month, or $250,000 a month, because those guys, they want it, but that's not what they're going for. So while they're building their big positions and trying to find a place where they can add liquidity and get a big enough position where it'll move the needle, we're able to come in, get out, make our money, and have a good year, live a good lifestyle. I mean, the trading lifestyle is amazing. If you're successful at this, it's better than none. You could trade anywhere in the world. I've traveled the world. I'm currently in the south of Spain, living on the Mediterranean. I go out on my catamaran all the time. Cars, clubs, whatever you want. Trading will really build the lifestyle that you want. It's uncomparable to anything else. But you have to put in the time and you have to be ready to trade. So I try to send out my signals showing my trades between 7 in the morning till 11 p.m. Eastern time, because I understand not everybody does this for a living. They do it on the side. They want to do this on a living. So I try to do it in those time frames. But if you really want to be a successful trader, you have to be willing and ready to be up and trade, and no matter what time it is. I'm up at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning. Doesn't matter to me. That's why I can live anywhere in the world. I'm 6 hours ahead of New York Eastern time right now. But when I lived in Thailand, I was 12 hours ahead of Eastern time. So it didn't matter to me because I was trading 23 hours a day regardless. Yes, of course you have to sleep, but you have to pick your times. You have to see when the market slows down. Obviously that's after hours in New York. But you also have to have alerts in there so that when it reaches certain levels, you're ready to wake up, jump out of bed, go to your office, turn on the charts, go through charts, see what's going on in the market, make sure that everything is going well. Because unfortunately, like I said, we don't have the resources to have 2 traders trading 24 hours a day or 3 traders trading 24 hours a day. It's just us a lot of times. And that's why this community is so important, because otherwise, a lot of you guys, and myself included, we're out on islands. I'm lucky enough to have a lot of friends who are banks, at hedge funds, sell-side guys, buy-side guys. So I bounce ideas off these guys all the time. We bounce emails and texts, and whenever they see something in the market that's interesting, they send it over to me. And I try to share that with you guys as much as I can. And I do a lot of reading, and I have a lot of important different views, going back to when I first started, that seemed to be right. I have a good feel of the overall market psychology and economy. I'm lucky in that aspect that I've done relatively well in picking directional market moves. But I want you guys, if you guys are genuinely ready to trade, if you guys are genuinely making this your career, you got to be ready to trade at all times of the day. Hi guys, I hope this helps a little bit. It's my inspirational podcast, I guess, for the next couple of months. And I'll talk to you guys later.